Hi everyone, it's Eleanor. I've still got a couple more days of my leave left. Well, it's not technically leave, I suppose it's the weekend and a public holiday. But so I won't give you a complete update of what I've read. I'll leave that until my monthly wrap up. But one thing I wanted to talk about was I today finished reading the Mocklore Omnibus by Tansy, Rayner, which is the first two books in the Mocklore trilogy, which I had previously read, book 3, and you can see it on my Kindle, but the lighting's really bad. Ink Black Magic. Yes, you heard me, I read book 3 a long time before I read book 1 and 2. So the story, these particular editions are published by Fablecroft Publishing, which is an Australian small press. Initially, books 1 and 2 of the series were published over 15 years ago, I believe, by a major publisher, and those books were Splashdance Silver and Liquid Gold. But the third book was never published until the rights became available again a few years ago, and Ink Black Magic, the third book, which has just disappeared on me, was published. And so I read that because it can be read as a standalone. But just recently they published the omnibus of the first two books with this gorgeous new cover. And so I picked it up because, as I've probably mentioned on this channel before, I love Tansy's writing. Tansy's writing is amazing. So I picked up the omnibus and I read it and I loved it, just like I loved Ink Black Magic. So the Mocklore Chronicles are a story about a lady pirate named Casa Daggersharp who lives in the Mocklore Empire. Books 1 and 2, book 1 is about her becoming a pirate after her father dies, and the shenanigans shit that she gets up to in order to find a crew and a ship and to find the mysterious Splashdance Silver. Then book 2, without spoiling much, is the further adventures of Casa and her crew. Involves time travel and the underworld and more gods and goddesses, just like the first book, probably more than the first book. And then Ink Black Magic, which I haven't read in a while, but I do need to reread, is set in the future when Casa has retired from being a lady pirate and is teaching magic at a university in Mocklore. And if I remember correctly, the first rule of magic that Casa Daggersharp teaches her students is don't use magic. Which sounds pretty sensible, really, when you find, now that I've read all of this book, and the amount of chaos that magic has caused her. So it is lady pirate shenanigans. It is a hint of romance with people who don't want to be romantic. There is magic, there are gods and goddesses, there are emperors and lady emperors, there's time travel, there's death and resurrection, there are trolls and flying sheep and random magical outbursts and tournaments and amazing things. Adventures, it really doesn't stop at all. Once it starts, it does not stop, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes, and it is one adventure after another. Most authors, I think, would have half the amount of adventure that Tansy puts in the Mocklore Chronicles, but yet she packs it in, and it's just a fantastic read. Really, really funny. I often find myself laughing out loud and getting the giggles, and in some ways, even though it's not set in Australia, because Tansy is an Australian author, it made me really happy because there are some terms and names for things that she uses. Like, I got really excited when it mentioned jam fancies, which are sort of what the English call jammy dodgers. They're like shortbread biscuits with jam in them, but in Australia they're jam fancies, and that made me really happy because it's really nice to see the Australian name for things in a fantasy book. So I really enjoyed that. there's sword fighting, and there's, oh, it's just, you know, luck and mercenaries and assassins and alchemical brewers, and it's just hilarious shenanigans and great adventure, and I really recommend the Mocklore Chronicles. In particular, I wanted to do this video because coming up shortly, I think in like a week, there's going to be a launch of another book in the Mocklore universe, which is a collection of short stories called Bounty. I'll be going to the book launch next weekend, I think. So yeah, if you get the chance, they're all available on ebook as well if you don't have access to get a nice, shiny, beautiful cover. But I would really recommend picking up the Mocklore Chronicles by Tansy and Rayner, which are Splash Bounce Silver, Liquid Gold, and Ink Black Magic. Yeah, it's funny, and it's sort of romantic, and it's adventurous, and I'm repeating myself now, so really just check it out if you get the chance. Fabercroft Publishing, the Mocklore Chronicles, Tansy Rayner. Next weekend, I'll hopefully get a video out because I will be attending Conflux, which is the Canberra Speculative Fiction Convention. So it might be a very short video. I think I'm due to do... I'll probably do a book haul, a short book haul, because I'm not going to include... I'm going to do a separate book haul for anything that I buy at the convention, so I may as well do my September book haul. But yeah, so I will see you next weekend, hopefully. Bye!